Hi, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
I'm still in Mississippi.
Wearing your beautiful Hawaiian. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. We do
share.
Share. Absolutely share. We do some more either ors, and Brandon and Katie fight again.
SEC quarterbacks.
One caveat. Watching.
Enjoy the show.
One caveat. Subscribe.
I'm talking to you.
I know. I didn't like your tone.
It's an actual, like, are you a Hawaiian guy now, or is this the same Hawaiian? Sorry,
It's a different Hawaiian.
Okay, I should have prefaced it that way. I apologize.
Did you watch The Office?
I did.
This is Florida Stanley.
But did you not have Florida Stanley on last episode?
I think I had my wrestling shirt on last time.
Oh, okay.
See, Florida Stanley.
How's
like
Mississippi
that, yeah.
treating you?
Good.
Brandon, I made an all-time ignorant statement on lowering the bar today. I said I didn't think there was. I said I didn't think that Mississippi bumped up against the Gulf of Mexico.
That is quite dumb. You also had an all-time ignorant statement on Twitter.
Oh, this is the Ohio State Michigan thing?
No.
What did I say?
Sandlot?
Oh, speaking of.
No. She said she's talking to state fans, and she's like, you guys spend one time getting the top recruiting class or competing for the playoff. But y'all ain't complaining. What?
I'm pretty sure that 2 seasons ago, A&M was 5th in the country finishing, and there was a massive conversation nationally about them taking the 4th
and we
spot.
had one season where we finished 6th nationally.
Yeah, but they weren't going to put you up there.
They weren't going to put y'all up there. They didn't put us either up there.
There was national conversation and debate. Now they got it right.
We have the same amount of years in the playoff conversation as you do. That's true. That's absolutely true.
That's true. They were in it.
Yeah, but they weren't.
They were in it for real.
We were in it. We went
6th.
We went to the last week.
We
went to the last week of the regular season as number 4 team in the country.
No. I understand.
And they lost to Ole Miss.
I understand that, but on Selection Sunday, on the unveiling, there was no debate if they were going to jump up or not.
You're absolutely just getting into semantics. We
That's
have the
true.
same amount of years. We have the same amount of years competing.
And you both are right, but your world is semantic world.
Yeah, but that's what Twitter is. Semantic world, by the way. Brandon is the best at doing this. Brandon does the same shit to piss people off, but yet when I do it, it's not okay. Which, by the way,
you semanticize my team. You can't semanticize my team.
You semanticize my team. Hey, speaking of you doing that to rile people up, your all-time buffoonish take of The Sandlot being the most overrated movie, which I defended staunchly on Twitter. I got my very own Benny the Jet PF flyers sent to the office today for that. They DM'd me and they were like, hey, thank you for standing up for us. You're going to get your own Benny the Jet flyers. And like 10-year-old Casey was just happy as shit today.
Well, thank you for proving that there's a bunch of pathetic little simps in the world.
No,
I live in a world where I tell the truth.
The company PF flyer sent them to me, not a simp.
They're
the company. Well, you're wrong. A. B. I know you would love some Benny the Jet PF flyers.
The Sandlot is overrated, Casey. It just is.
It's not, and it's also by far not number one.
Because you're talking to me in 10-year-old with your 10-year-old thoughts watching it. If you watched it now, it's not a good movie.
Well, no, it's because it's nostalgic. I don't think Space Jam is a good movie either, but I loved it as a kid, so I love it now.
Well, right. Sandlot's not good. It's nostalgic. That's exactly
that makes
my
it
point.
good. I watch The Sandlot every year on the 4th of July.
I watched
There's a lot of movies I would say
Wall Street last night with Charlie Sheen and
love that movie.
I actually thought it wasn't good
because you didn't see it when you were younger. That's the thing, Brandon.
Well, no. Wall Street and kid movies are completely different.
Well, no, but I mean, like when it came out, Wall Street was awesome, but it doesn't hold up.
Well, I what did you think was not good? The second half of the movie is not good.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was fine. Like saying it not good, like it was an average to above average movie, but I was expecting more, I guess I would say. It just felt like so like blah. And it's like, oh, the kid of the union guy, and then the dad has a heart attack. It felt so like just fake. It was like, eh.
How old is that movie?
It came out in 1987.
Yeah, so that's, I
mean, it was good. Don't get me wrong, but
movies that are made at that time, I think very rarely stand up.
I also watched Blow last night.
Blow is fantastic.
I thought Blow was pretty good.
What? I've never heard that movie.
It's Johnny Depp.
Cocaine.
It's about a lot of coke.
I didn't realize how hot Penelope Cruz was.
Yeah, she's so hot.
Jesus Christ.
It's crazy.
Well, yeah, she's a hot woman.
No, I didn't. I just
no,
didn't
she's like
realize.
epically hot.
And
You
that
should watch
movie,
Blow. It's very good.
insane. Like not even hot, just beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, thank you for your Sandlot take. I now have some sick PF flyers.
Y'all ready to do a college football show?
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool's college football show, brought to you by High Noon Hard Seltzer. I'm looking at it right in front of Casey and Jack and Katie. It's the High Noon Pool Pack. It's the hottest drink pack of the summer. You got 8 flavors. Well, you have 4 flavors. You have 8 drinks: 2 kiwi, 2 peach, 2 guava, 2
Lime.
Thank you very much.
You're
Lime.
welcome.
Mine, I have a pool pack as well, but it's holding up my life.
And I will say this. I said it the last episode. I'm going to say it again. The ring light looks fantastic on you. It
Doesn't
really,
it?
it makes your eyes pop, brings out the beard. Brandon, you know what I'll never forget? Us
Yes.
sharing our first ever High Noon Lime together. Do you remember when that happened?
I sure don't.
When we were in Ronkonkoma
Oh God.
a long time ago. And it was the first time we ever tried the lime. And we only had one in the cooler. And you and I shared it right on that beautiful patio of Ronkonkoma, watching a raccoon eat trash.
I doubt it was a possum, and I doubt you and I will ever spend time in Ronkonkoma together again.
I would put a lot of money on that being true.
Was it a possum or was it a raccoon? I think it was a possum.
I think I don't know. It was an animal that I don't like eating trash while you and I were
Possums and
sharing one
raccoons
High
are
Noon. So,
Possums and raccoons are the same thing. They just have different colors.
and they both eat trash, right?
Yeah, well, they're literally called the trash panda. The raccoon is.
Yeah. But I will never forget us sharing our first ever High Noon Lime.
Yeah, what a great.
What a
memory.
beautiful romance.
I don't remember things I do with you, so it's not a big
No, that's
deal.
very sweet.
But you remember the fat squirrel?
Well, we all remember the fat squirrel.
Of course, we remember the fat squirrel. The fat squirrel's a nation, the treasure of a nation. What do you say that? National treasure.
National
Treasure.
treasure.
Treasure of a nation. I like that.
You also, speaking of movies that are overrated, National Treasure.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen that.
I mean, I think National Treasure is fine for what it was, but it became people were like, "Oh, it's a really good movie." It's
Nicolas
not.
Cage. Nicolas Cage, man.
Fell
I don't know
off.
that I ever enjoyed a Nicolas Cage movie.
You know who a movie I've never enjoyed? Who's the guy?
I'm gotta go check out IMDb.
He's in The
real
King
quick.
of New York. Oh, what's his
Little
name?
sass.
No,
Oh,
Pete Davidson.
Pete
No.
Davidson. No, that.
He's King of Staten
that's
Island.
King of Staten Island. King of New York. It's a movie about like he gets out of jail and he runs a bunch of gangs. What's his name?
It sounds like
It's your
a
attention to detail that
old-timey.
sets you apart, Jack.
Who's the guy that hits the I need more cowbell? What's his name?
That's
Will
Will Ferrell.
Ferrell.
No, who's the
No.
guy in it?
Oh, Christopher Walken.
I don't like Christopher Walken that much. He rubs me the wrong way. It's like a weird style of acting. Whatever. We're not an
You know
acting
what?
podcast.
You know what, Brandon? I'm checking out Nicolas Cage's IMDb. You're right. I don't think there's one movie of his that I like.
Maybe Gone in 60 Seconds.
Some Raising Arizona.
Con Air.
Oh, that's
Maybe
a good
Con
one.
Air. Maybe Con
That's
Air.
a good one, Katie.
All right.
You
So
got a panty on your head.
we're going to talk. We're going to unleash our top 7 SEC quarterbacks today. Correct.
Yes.
We're also going to talk. I got a little thought exercise I want to give to you guys, just to play around with the concept to see if it's worth keeping around. We'll do that in a minute. I have 3 news topics I would like to talk about, and then we can dive into that stuff. And I have 4 more either ors for you guys.
I like that.
Cool.
Jack and I were talking about this probably like an hour or so ago. I am just loving the meltdown that the two of you have created on social media today with the Ohio State Michigan take. Jack had the most perfect point. It's like, when people are mad when they start using the argument of like, oh, you're a blank fan, and they're just
Yeah.
going after Jack being a UConn fan. It's
They do
so
that
funny.
to me all the time.
Oh, they
Yeah,
do it to me too, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's just, that's when they have no argument left. Now, while I wildly disagree with both of you on that take, it is funny to sit back and watch the meltdown that is ensuing.
People
All
were,
I'm saying, listen, Ohio State, Michigan fans, all I'm saying is Auburn and Alabama kill each other.
That
Y'all
is
ain't-
true.
Y'all ain't killing each other.
But see, and we can move on because we've had this conversation a million times. I've used that argument that you just used when I say who I think the most heated rivalry is, because they do actually kill each other over the Auburn-Alabama rivalry. That to me does not mean that Ohio State, Michigan
you
fans
can't have a
don't hate each
rivalry
other.
and not be heated.
Yeah, you
No,
have to
I'm
kill
saying it's the
somebody.
most heated.
Yeah. So
the
that,
Iron Bowl is the most heated because they kill each other. I think Ohio State, Michigan is
Like,
heated,
I
just not
look
to
at
that
all-
degree.
Imagine,
I
imagine
look
the
at-
Civil War if they were using water
Yeah.
pistols. You have to kill somebody to
you
show
have to
heat.
kill.
But that's the only rivalry that they kill each other over.
No, there's been others. I think LSU and Bama have after an LSU Bama
Oh.
game. There's
There's a
Definitely-
common
definitely
denominator
UNC
there.
Duke one.
the
I killed a
UNC
Tennessee
Duke
fan
is
once.
UNC Duke's a
Not
fake
football.
rivalry too.
Excuse
ran-
me?
I ran
Yeah.
over a drifter.
But
wearing a
except for
Tennessee-
basketball's real.
Not football. 100% not football, but everything.
I
else.
killed
Basketball, yeah, of course. Yeah.
I feel like any
Walking down the
rivalry
road,
where
I
they
killed him.
refuse to use a letter in that, like just in
Oh,
general.
that's so lame.
It's
That's
lame,
the
but they
lamest thing
do it.
ever. Who cares about that?
I started to go back and save him, but he was already dead.
Egg Bowl. The Egg Bowl, in my mind, is literally universes away from Ohio State, Michigan.
Oh, I don't
Yes.
think so.
I would agree.
I think
I think
Michigan
it's-
State or Michigan, Ohio State is just like, yeah, they like to talk about hating each other. I don't think they really do.
Where was
Oh,
that boy? Where'd that voice come from?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It felt right.
Like I said, I wildly disagree. However, I like that you're sticking to it, and I love whenever we piss people
I
off
think
on social
Michigan
media.
fans hate Michigan State much more. They despise Michigan. Ohio State, they're just like, and Ohio State doesn't have rivals because they just have killed the Big Ten for the past 2 decades.
Yeah, but the take that like nobody was upset when Ohio State lost to Michigan last year is just not true.
I don't think they were as upset as the normal. Like it was a weird upset that they had. They hate each other. I'll give you that. But I still, yeah. Last year, I don't know that I felt the burning.
They were up
passion.
vitriol.
Oh
I
my
think they just
God.
went silent.
They were upset that they didn't make the college football playoff. The thing is, if that happened to Mississippi State, which it kind of did in 20, like, I believe Brandon, like, we would have to do the podcast by ourselves for the entire bowl season and whatnot. He'd see us back in like the next year.
Oh.
Like, the calendar year would have to flip.
I catch it in
Absolutely.
spring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Oh, I
he's
would
going
do the same
to a
thing.
place where there's no cell phone service. He won't be contacted unless it has something to do with his kids. That's the only thing.
All
Or his
right, here we
family.
go.
For that.
We have got.
It's just funny to
talk-
watch.
We got to talk about the cultishness of college football fans.
Oh god.
I knew this was coming, and again,
They're
it is
not
so
approved.
it is so much fun to watch other people Heisenberg Twitter the way that other people at this company do. Brandon, this is, yeah, I think Clemson fans might hate you as much as any fan base in the world right now.
There is not a bigger group of Kool-Aid drinking cultists in America than Clemson's fan base. No, and I'm going to get to A&M in a minute.
I didn't
No.
say I didn't.
No.
I did- I
She's
pointed
pointing
at
at you.
Oh no.
No, let me stop you there. Let me stop you there.
Let him
stop you
talk.
there.
No, I know.
Before I get into Clemson, I do want to talk about A&M
Oh boy.
because you guys are doing something that's total bullshit, and not you personally, but your fan base.
Uh-oh.
And you've ruined your cult-like aura because you've embraced it too much. You guys want to be the cult. You guys want to do the weird things. You want to be known as the biggest cult. Like when I said Clemson's the biggest cult in the country, it was not a compliment. I had 50 A&M fans saying, no, we are. That's not
Oh,
how
yeah.
it fucking works.
I think it is one of those things that it's like, and I agree with you. I haven't seen that happening until pretty recently. I think for a long time, if you say cult, which just has a negative connotation as it is, any school was going to like fight back. I think that it's gotten to the point now where it's like, if you don't just accept it, it's going to continue to happen. So it's like, whatever, I'm just going to accept it. And then you can't make fun of it as much. Because if they're just like, yeah, no, A&M's a cult. And then you're like, oh, well, this takes the luster out of doing it.
I guess. Did you see my tweet
yeah.
about? That's
Yeah,
a pretty good
and
tweet.
you know what? And because people were like, "Oh, are you going to get mad at him for this?" I was like, I don't think that he means what you guys think that he means. Like you weren't talking about on the football field. You're not scared of it. It's like, no, they're just a little cult down there in College Station, and they're just going to keep to themselves.
No, I also mean that on the football field. So the thing
Well,
is,
that's fucking stupid. But
A&M is like North Korea. They're going to get dressed up and they're going to march around and they're going to put out a bunch of videos, but ultimately they're not going to hurt anybody.
well,
Yeah.
see, here's the thing: is that like I
They
think
do
that
have
was
that
very
WMD coming. though.
very funny. However, the people that are dressed up are, in the core. But I got what your point was. I did get
Core.
what your point was.
The core.
Where does
Hey,
your
the core of
ranking-
cadets, the cadets.
Hey, Brandon,
First of all, if I want to win a battle,
Oh no. Oh no.
if I want to win a battle, I want you to give me all the Army's graduates. But if I want to win a war,
Handful of Texas Aggies.
give me a handful of Texas Aggies. And that is definitely a quote that was not made up.
No, it wasn't
Giggle.
made up. It wasn't made up. No, your tweet, I thought your tweet was very funny. And I giggled at it. I will say reading your the responses to your tweet about Dabo at Clemson were just astronomically hilarious. Like it was so baffling to me that people didn't understand what you were saying, that it was like, if you want to talk about people that are drinking Kool-Aid, which I don't like making fun of Dabo. I think Dabo plays it well for what he should. The people are fully embracing Dabo to a different level.
Let me give a little context here. If you didn't follow Twitter, this weekend, Dabo and Clemson had a ladies' clinic, okay? Raised a bunch of money for breast cancer awareness. Admirable, of course. Sure. Fantastic. Great job. Wonderful. But they put out, Clemson's All-In Foundation put out a video that first was Jack grabbed it for unnecessary roughness, and then I grabbed it from him and used it for my own Twitter because I'm a glory hog.
No, your tweet, what you did's perfect.
It did numbers.
And it was a video of Dabo doing the gritty, and they doing it slow motion in a pink jacket and just doing the gritty. And all I did was, okay, a 52-year-old white coach doesn't need to be putting out videos of him doing the gritty. And I tweeted, RIP the gritty, whenever it started to 2022, cause of death, Dabo. I think anybody sitting there at that table, anybody in the world would say, oh, that's a decent little joke about the gritty being dead because Dabo did it. The cult of Clemson woke up and absolutely decided that I am not only pro-cancer, I'm not only pro-death. I hate Clemson. I hate Dabo. I'm a devil worshiper. One guy told me, a recruit's dad. I didn't tweet this out because I didn't want the recruit to get any. A recruit's dad, a 3-star receiver recruit who's leaning Clemson, DM me and said, I do not like Dabo because he's a believer in Christ and I'm not about that life. That's a recruit's dad. That
was a real thing. That was a real thing.
Listen, I'll text it to you right now. I took a picture of it, but I didn't tweet it because I didn't want the recruit to catch any guff. But I'm going to read it right now. There you go again. Just admit you were wrong and end it. But no, you have to double down. I didn't go to Clemson. I live 900 miles away. Blah, 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 blah. I don't see their fans as a cult. I just see you as an asshole to motivate people to backlash at your comment. You don't like Dabo because he's a good man and a believer in Christ. And I think you know deep down you don't measure up to that.
Oh, you don't measure up to believing in Jesus.
Yes. So.
Oh, okay. So it's funny
when coaches use, and I'm sorry, I cut you off there. When coaches use this faith, we've talked about it a lot. It creates an actual literal cult of fans. There's Clemson fans that, I'll put it like this. If Jesus Christ himself came back to Clemson tomorrow, and at the same time Dabo was having a meet and greet at the Dairy Queen, there'd be a line out the Dairy Queen flowing around the block. That's how much they value Dabo. That's how high of a platform they put Dabo on. This is dangerous. This is Penn State type behavior. That's how it starts. That's how it leads. They become so enamored with the human being that they're put on this deity like he's a god in Clemson.
Definitely. I do think that it's very interesting to me. So like when all those things that you said that people are accusing you of, you do hate Dabo for sure.
Don't hate.
Well, okay.
You think he's full of shit?
No. Listen, you think he's full of shit. However, yes. I think it is incredibly funny that now, because you made fun of something that happened at a charity event for cancer, you're now pro-cancer and you hate Jesus. Like somehow if you make fun of somebody who, by the way, like is very open about his faith, but is not the only head coach in college football that's a Christian. Is not the only coach that talks about Jesus. Okay. But because you went against a guy that believes in Jesus, you now hate Jesus. And I think that is so ridiculous.
I didn't even go against him. I just said RIP the gritty. I thought it was funny that a 52-year-old white man was doing the gritty. And Clemson fans lost their mind. I got Clemson fans challenge me to rough and rowdy fights.
Hell yeah.
it's just unbelievable. I got players. Will Shipley. They're
See,
starting.
wait,
but that's
Wait, what did he do?
One of the so Will Shipley quote tweeted me
Yeah.
and said something. I'll go find it.
I'll find it.
He was like, "Why are you talking about the dance and not the fact that he raised $350,000 for charity?" And basically just like they brainwash these
But
kids.
see, Brandon,
I got it.
not to play devil's advocate. Read the tweet, and then I'll play.
Instead of this, why don't you praise him in his effort to raise
Praise him. Look at the language they're saying.
praise him in an effort to raise $350,000 for breast cancer awareness. Crazy how you can take something so good and try to twist it into something bad.
So
That's a player. That's a soft ass pussy
It's
ass
very
player.
good player.
No pun intended here, but to play devil's advocate, one of the things I have said when we talk about Dabo and like, he's easy to make fun of and whatever, I said, well, even if that's true, the players in the fan base buy into it. So it works. So even though we're making fun of it, you've got literal players now standing up for it. So even if it's brainwashing, it's working. It's not working on us because we don't.
Standing up for what? I went RIP the gritty.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying is that it's like when he's cheesy and does all these things, if the players in the fan base like hated it or kind of made fun of it or mocked it, then it's like, yeah, Dabo, stop. Whatever he's doing is working. He's a god to them.
It's dangerous behavior. It's like
Well,
really fucking weird.
It is, but it happened. It's kind of like, SEC Media Days is going on. You've been there just like I have. You watch the people that just want to come in to watch people like they want to just breathe Nick Saban's air. They don't even care if they get to see him as long as they know they're in the same air conditioned building. Like Dabo's at that level and it works.
I do think Dabo and Clemson are the most extreme example of a cult. Every college football fan base is a cult. And what I mean by that is we only need our college football team, our favorite college football team in common to join together and absolutely just destroy somebody. Like some of the things I got DM'd and tweeted were unbelievable.
Well, it's very anti-Christian, I'm sure.
But it's like that in all of college football. Like every fan base will absolutely black and white, first class and lower class. Like they'll all come together in one common goal, and it's the college football team. It's really, really fucking weird.
So there was one of my favorite responses of yours was, and I don't want to like say her name. I don't know who she is, but she was like an older Clemson fan. And I think you might have actually responded to her, but the prototypical like, oh, do you feel good about yourself? And then she said, do you feel good about yourself knowing that there are women dying of cancer? And so then I went and clicked on her page. And it wasn't just to you. She was copying and pasting that exact tweet and link to like 50 different people. I was like, this woman, whoever she is, wherever she is in South Carolina, is sitting there so mad that you are celebrating women dying of cancer that she's copying and pasting this tweet to literally anybody who says one word about Dabo. It was so funny to me.
But
like this mad woman somewhere.
I guess I'm just team cancer now, guys. I'm.
What's your current ranking of college fan bases?
I got to be Clemson number one, right?
Clemson is one. Really, what creates a cult is winning. Okay, and Alabama's up there. A&M's up there just from being weird. But I think Clemson is. Most of them are cultish about the school. Clemson is the only one that's really cultish about an individual person.
Oh, see, I think Alabama is too.
Nah.
You guys
Nick
have,
Saban.
you have rings.
Yeah, but they were like this before Saban. Clemson wasn't like this before Dabo.
Yeah, I guess it's just like they love Coach Saban, and
they were like this before Saban though. Like they're not really that different. They just actually
He's won what?
Yeah, but
6 national championships with them.
Correct, but I do think yes. I mean, Alabama's always been that way, but I do think he takes it to that next level. Maybe again, it's social media, but I mean, there are a lot of Alabama fans. Like I said, I mean, you see it literally show up at SEC Media Days that they're dressed as full-blown rings and they just are chanting Saban for the entire time.
There are 80-year-old Penn State fans to this day that still love Joe Pa more than they love Penn State.
You know who's close? Yeah, another Big Ten school who's getting close to cult levels.
I know who you're going to say.
Specifically with their coach.
The 70 IQ Spartans and Tuck coming.
Go off, Jack.
Man, Why Indiana?
Tom, well, you guys,
No,
you,
Tom Allen was just a fraud, and we called him out for it 2 years before
Okay.
anyone else saw
Yeah,
it.
we nailed that.
We nailed that.
Jack's vendetta against Michigan State
Yeah.
is just all time.
No, it's not because, well,
It is
fine.
because it's funny.
The only thing is their love of Tuck's coming. It's insane. He's won a Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Congratulations. Go get a spicy chicken sandwich. Fucking 70 IQ Spartan tribe. Unbelievable.
May I ask
They're
you-
going to they wake up in the morning. They're like, the social media team's like, how many times can we mention Tuck today?
Do you of all like the teams that you've come to hate, and we all do this because we do this for a living. So we've like, for example, I never growing up thought I was going to hate Florida State fans, but I do because of the interaction. Do you think Michigan State is your number one that you just like because you had one take that's been created on this podcast?
I just thought that Michigan was better than them last year,
Yes.
and then they had a legitimate breakdown.
So now it's
And
a
I was-
forever hate.
And I will say about Michigan State last year, I was wrong about them. They were much better than I said they were. So I was wrong about it. But the Colt thing is the only thing I'm saying.
70 IQ is, I mean,
Yeah.
that was solely born because of hatred on this podcast, which I love.
I'm now batting 1,000 on Clemson. I mean, it was like 11 months ago that I tweeted the video of him running down the.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
And that
Oh, that's
got like
right.
17. That got 500 quote tweets and 17,000 likes. This one's at like 11,000 and 300 right now. So I'm 2 for 2 on Clemson just going batshit over me.
You
That
got
is true. You
there,
are.
there will be something during the season. I don't know what it's going to be, but it will. You have to be like specific about it, but something will happen during the season with Clemson and him.
with Brandon.
Yes,
Oh,
there will be a video.
definitely. Oh, absolutely. Because now he's laid the groundwork because
They
he's
hate
not
him.
a man of Jesus.
oh, like he'll be in a video.
He's a piece of shit. He's a
It's a
cancer loving.
player. A player came after me for saying RIP the gritty.
Yeah. Well, see, but players also like when they do that, it's because they know that they're going to get the interaction of their fan base too. So it's like, do you think that Will Shipley actually believes that, or he knew that he would get the love of his fan base? I don't know.
I think he might be brainwashed. I think we need to get him blinked twice. I think we've lost Will Shipley.
I think that you are 1,000% right from a coach standpoint, watching the way that they defend Dabo. And again, I don't think Dabo's done anything like heinously wrong. I think he's
Yeah,
cheesy,
me either.
but he's also like, they're buying
Stop.
into it.
Can you stop right there?
Yeah.
I know what you just said. When have I said he's done anything wrong?
Oh, no, I'm
Well,
not. No, I'm
not
not
to
saying
you,
you
but
have.
People are like, oh, you hate Dabo. I said RIP the gritty.
No. I know. I'm saying that like when we talk, like, I don't think that like Dabo is like, I think Dabo is just super cheesy. I
Mhm.
think that the people of Clemson love it. And I think if you are somebody that's super cheesy and the fans love it, you should double down on it. So I think
Okay.
that what he's doing is double downing on it.
Let me
Double
go ahead
downing?
and say my statement about Dabo right now.
Uh-oh.
Here's my statement about Dabo Swinney and Clemson. Dabo is one of the top 3 coaches in the country. He is also top 1 on most full of shit college football coaches out there. Everything he says is full of shit. And
I think
Clemson
Hugh Freeze
fans-
is a
Hold on,
head-
Casey. Clemson fans, look at me dead in the eye. You don't like Dabo. You don't love Dabo because he believes in Jesus or because he's a good man, because he gives to charity. You like Dabo because he wins, and you're a fucking whore for winning, just like I am. You love that he wins. You don't care about Jesus. You don't care about the charity. You care that he wins. Stop using social media to make it look like you're better people than you are. You fucking cult.
Nice.
I will say, if I had to choose between a coach winning as a Jesus lover versus a coach winning as a devil lover, I would take the Jesus lover.
Oh, I would. Oh, shit. Not me. If Mike Leach goes 11-1 this year and says, "Hail Satan," I'm like, well, sweetie, I mean, I listen, we went 11-1.
Maybe the man's got a point.
Maybe the man's got a point.
No, but
he's
like I said, I
I
was
just said something weird. In my wildest fantasy, I could have said anything. I said 11-1. Like I didn't even go 12-0.
that's so true. They didn't win the national title, but
I didn't even win the SEC. I'm like,
sell your soul
we
to
could
Satan.
go
for
11-1.
11-1.
Still
Yeah.
lost to Bama.
Yeah, damn.
Almost had him. Almost had him.
And that was my own fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost had him though. Like
But-
you had him against the ropes.
Oh
What's it-
man, we in first half we had him. I ain't gonna lie.
And that pass interference call in the second half ruined everything.
Oh, we got jobbed by the refs.
4
Just
minutes to
real
go.
quick.
You guys were up 3.
Didn't even touch him.
Yeah, didn't even touch him. And
So
extended the drive
funny.
on 4th down.
Yeah, no, I do think it is.
Whoa. I'd be remiss if I didn't name this other. There's one more coach cult out there that's building.
Which one?
Oh,
Jack, can you guess?
Wait, the
Lincoln
one-
Riley?
No.
Oh, Brent.
Sam
Oh,
Pittman
Sam
at
Pittman.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
There's a cult of Sam Pittman brewing, and it's
I really think that Colt is going to turn heavy this year because we've talked about it a million times. The ceiling and the floor of Arkansas this year, it's wide. It's not like, oh, they'll go 5-7 or 7-5. No, it's like, oh.
I was expecting to see a lot more Arkansas fans in my mentions because of the tiering thing. Because I put them in just happy not to suck.
They're going to be. I saw your list. They're going to be.
we got to realize that
I didn't-
you
no,
put
no,
that
it's
out
been
as a
out.
graphic and they can't read.
No, well, that's also fair. I will say, and they
Yeah,
stay.
can we make it visual for them?
They say they stay steady. The number one fan base in my mentions are Oklahoma fans. And by the way, I didn't put Oklahoma in like happy not to suck, but because USC was in that list, they are so fucking soft still about Lincoln Riley. And it's like, guys, like you're just outing yourself as being soft babies still.
Did you see the situation with Caleb Williams and Mike
Yep.
Farrell? I don't know where that story came from because I saw Mike Farrell's tweet. For people that didn't see it, Mike Farrell put out like a graphic that said, or maybe even screenshotted something from Instagram, and it said Caleb Williams' dad said that Oklahoma fans drove Caleb Williams away from OU, and then it kind of went viral. And then Caleb quote tweeted it and then said like, "This is not true. Like, how dare you say that?" And then Mike Farrell asked him to come on his show, and he said, "Yeah, of course you want me on your show. I'm sure you would love to have me."
Yeah, I thought Caleb Williams looked like an asshole there.
Yeah, it was kind of yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
listen,
he's an asshole, but it's kind of like it's his when you're spreading lies, supposedly.
I don't think he was spreading lies. Like it was a quote from his dad.
Yeah, it was.
Like
I
it
think
wasn't
it
a
was at the
lie.
high school.
His dad said it.
No, I'm saying like he was like, no one wants to go with your high school interviews or something.
Yeah, he was an asshole, insulting Farrell for information. And plus, I mean, we saw the timeline play out. We saw that Oklahoma fans were assholes too. Caleb Williams doesn't want to be disliked by anybody.
And also,
And
Mike Farrell is like, I mean, he calls himself the Godfather a little bit too much, but he is like a very well respected college football reporter for a very long time.
He's legit. He's a legit dude.
I also just at this point, if I was Caleb Williams, you talk about doubling down and playing into it. I would do whatever it takes to just continue to piss off Oklahoma fans because again, like I've been on OU's bandwagon off and on since we started this podcast together, Jack. And then obviously with Brandon, we've argued about this, but they don't even try to hide how much of whiny babies they still are in the middle of July about Lincoln Riley. Like they just aren't. So if you are a USC fan, player, coach, you should just keep doubling down on it because it's just, they don't even care about how good their team is going to be. It seems like they don't give a shit. They just care about what's happening in California.
Not to make this the Mike Farrell hour or anything, but did you see that he was also the guy that stirred up the Arch Manning stuff last week when he said that Arch Manning, he doesn't see it. If Arch Manning had a different last name, he'd be a 3-star. Now I floated that concept on this show multiple times.
Everybody has.
And I think it's a fair question. Whenever you have a last name that's that famous and that respected and they jump to the top of the list, you got to say, well, is it the actual product on the field or is it the name? And I saw a couple of clips on Twitter of Arch Manning and the players he was playing against. Woo! It wasn't great. He was playing against me. But I don't want, and Casey, it puts you in a bad spot because you're an A&M fan. So if you even said it, even like hinted at it, that you just get all this.
I did.
I don't know. Like, it's not an insult to say he's the number one guy because of his name. Because, I look at him and I think, he's probably very good, but there could be a couple guys better. Like instead of number 1 overall player, is he the number 20 overall player? Is that an insult?
No, I mean, I said it in the day that it happened. Katie got a video of me on the rundown set, and I said, like, yeah, his last name is Manning. Is he going to be Peyton Manning and Eli Manning, or is he just going to be a Manning? I guess we'll see. And I mean, granted, I definitely played into the whole like, well, congratulations, Texas, you did this. It is not crazy to say that if your last name is synonymous and is the exact same as the one of the greatest football family dynasties of all time, that you're going to get more hype. I don't understand why people are offended by that.
Well,
if your name was Arch Jones versus Arch Manning, then yeah, obviously it's going to be different.
Hype and his rating on these services is a little bit different. Like they don't give out ratings for hype. They give it out as an indicator of what they think he'll be.
But his last name plays into that.
Maybe a little bit, but not that much.
Oh, I disagree.
I think it plays into it a lot.
A lot.
I
ton.
think I think multiple people have made it incredibly clear that this guy would be a 5-star no matter what his name is.
That's true, but would he be the number one guy that everybody's
All right, then
freaking out
he's
about?
if he's number 3 or 4, fine. But he's very
freaking out.
talented. No, but people are talking about
You forget Jackson Bed with big recruiting.
That's right. I forgot.
Yeah, I'm in bed with big recruiting.
Stars
100%. On 3 and 24/7 Sports have been like giving me under the table payments for a long time. However, what I'm saying, you were right about the hype. His hype and
Definitely.
talked about is all because of his last name.
Mhm.
But the rating, like people saying, oh, he would just be a 3-star. I disagree with. He would be a 5-star no matter the name, but he could be a 5-star that nobody would be talking about. It'd just be like very inside college
Right.
football. That's why I said he's going to be he is the most hyped college football
Mhm.
prospect in the history of college football.
From an anticipation standpoint,
yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
Like, I mean,
And-
just
And 5-star quarterbacks fail all the time. So that wouldn't be an indication on the services, just like first round quarterbacks fail all the time.
like the only other thing I can think of, and granted, we're talking about like multiple generations here, but like if one of Brady's sons, like when he comes into because one of them will obviously play football, if not both of them, I'm assuming that they will be equally as hyped, just like because his last name
I
is
mean,
Brady.
why was Deion Sanders' son a low 4-star? Like, why wasn't he just a 5-star?
I don't know that answer.
Fair point.
Well, I think a little bit of it. First of all,
Deion didn't play quarterback.
Yeah, but
I think playing he was a quarterback and Deion was a defensive
Right.
back. And the fact that there's been one Deion Sanders, but there's been 3 Mannings, all at quarterback, and all have.
I think
have
if Deion's son played corner, that would have been different. If it was like you played the exact same position as your dad, and again, it goes back to just the
he was
dynasty.
a low 4-star though.
But he's not playing the same position. I think that would be crazy if like Deion playing in the secondary and then his son playing in the secondary. I think that they would be.
I
equal,
just
but-
think it's more that this is the 4th Manning, and that would be the
Yeah.
2nd Sanders.
and
That's all.
and it's a dynasty. However, we'll see. That's the beauty of
Also,
recruiting.
every
We'll
college was begging for Arch. You think they just were begging for him for his
see. Not
last
every
name?
college.
Every college was.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe not A&M.
Don't act like you wouldn't have taken Arch
Oh,
Manning.
of course I would have.
Okay.
But that is a storyline.
Hey,
that is
Texas made it like Texas. I've heard some things about they didn't even get money. They didn't give him money. They gave his father like real estate.
in
like,
Austin.
No, he got like a few projects. This was a very
Did
interesting.
he get a
recruiting.
ranch? Did he get a whole ass ranch?
He didn't get a ranch. He got like his dad runs a real estate company.
Yeah, I know. I have said since it happened, which again is like if you just own it, people can't make fun of it. Congratulations. We'll see if it pans out. He might be Peyton and Eli Manning. I have no idea.
Jack, do you think Texas is going to take the same stance as A&M and deny they paid him, even though it's obvious?
Hey, they can deny they paid him, but they can't deny the real estate projects his father is about to get.
I'd like it on record that I have never once denied that
Allegedly.
those players have been paid.
Allegedly.
All right, here we go. We go with top 7 SEC quarterbacks. Are y'all ready?
This was
Yes.
not easy.
This one was tough. Can I make a recommendation? Because I liked that thought exercise a lot. Can we
Yeah.
do it to where it can be a current roster too, just to see because I think what'll be funny is to see the difference between what you say and what we all say. Because you're like
I would
such a
just prefer if y'all come up with the teams and let me play that game.
okay, fine. I can do that. When you say you can't do current roster, it's a tough one.
Here we go.
Okay.
Top 7 SEC quarterbacks. Now, this conference, probably the Big Ten next week. I assume we'll have a unanimous number 1. I can't imagine anybody at number 1 out of the 4 of us picking anybody but Bryce Young. Is that correct?
Oh, I thought you meant for the Big Ten. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We're all Bryce Young, right?
And DJ Stroud will be number 1 next week when we do the Big Ten.
Yeah.
But like the ACC, we weren't unanimous, and I doubt the Pac-12 will. Well, Pac-12 actually will probably be unanimous as well. So,
Bryce Young is the unanimous number 1 overall pick.
in the SEC and probably the country, yes.
Yes.
So Bryce Young, number 1. Who would like to? How we want to do this? We want to go like individually, number 2s, individually number 3s, or just go with our list.
Go with our list.
Go with the list. It's easier to digest.
All right, here's my list. Number 1, Bryce Young, Alabama. Number 2, Hendon Hooker, Tennessee. I just love hookers.
You and Hugh Freeze.
Just realized number 1 would be, the top 2 is Hugh Freeze's dream, young hooker. All right.
Jesus Christ.
Number 3, that's Dabo. Number
Yeah.
3, this I took a little risk here. But I believe in this guy this year.
No.
Spencer Rattler. I have Spencer Rattler, South Carolina. Number 4, Will Rogers, Mississippi State University. Number 5, KJ Jefferson, Arkansas. Number 6, defending national champ and all-around dickhead Stetson Bennett. And number 7, the former AR-15, no longer going by that name, Anthony Richardson from Florida. And I will hear when we put this graphic out from the University of Kentucky fans, I do not have Will Levis in my list. However, this is a stance I have now and will always have. I prefer my list of good quarterbacks to be filled with good quarterbacks.
Very fair.
Yeah,
Jack-
you have Spencer Rattler
Jason-
on there.
What's her name in the middle? Casey?
Yes, I'm the blonde one.
What's your
Y-
list?
So you and I have very similar lists, Brandon Walker. So a few different. Number 1, Bryce Young. I also have Hendon Hooker at number 2. I have Will Rogers at number 3. I have Spencer Rattler at number 4. I have Stetson Bennett at number 5. And I know that from his number standpoint, you're like, whatever, if you win a national title, you're a top 5 quarterback in the conference. I have Anthony Richardson at number 6 and KJ Jefferson at number 7. So I think we have all the same ones, just different rankings. But I will say, I think that Will Rogers is a victim right now. And this is not an offense to you whatsoever. I think he's a victim right now of the team that he's playing for. I think if you threw him on a different team, that he would potentially, he's not going to beat out Bryce Young right now, but the numbers that he put up last year are fucking crazy.
I think that's
There are
that's a
several.
bold
If we're talking
statement.
about this list, like right
If you
now,
put Will Rogers with those numbers on Alabama, I mean, he's the number 1 quarterback in the conference.
I have Anthony Richardson at 7. Like by the end of the season, Anthony Richardson has the potential to be a lot higher than that, as does Jackson Dart, who, if this
Jackson
were top
Dart,
10,
yeah.
I would have had Jackson Dart because I think he's got potential to be very, very good. Hendon Hooker at 2. I could see him falling potentially this year if they're not as good as they were last year, and they weren't good. So, all right, Katie, who was your list?
Before we move on though, like Brandon, I know that you're obviously a little bit biased here, but from an unbiased standpoint, and like, is it crazy to say that if Will Rogers put up those numbers at an Alabama or Georgia, he'd be one of the best quarterbacks in the country?
Well, the problem with that is that's been the Mike Leach argument since the beginning of time, right? Like
Correct.
Gardner Minshew of Washington State, if he put those numbers up at USC, he would have won the Heisman, but he is looked at as a Mike Leach quarterback. And I don't have a problem looking at a guy as a Mike Leach quarterback. So, yeah, if he put up those numbers at Alabama, he would be the biggest quarterback in the country, but
Right.
chances are he wouldn't have that offense at Alabama. So therefore he wouldn't put up the numbers.
It's just, he's hard to ignore from the number standpoint. However, again, you know, he's not.
Right.
at
He
those
will,
schools,
he'll
but-
have 4,000 yards and 42 touchdowns this year. So.
Yeah. And also with Spencer Rattler too, I feel like that I don't know if we're still just trying to live on the hype of him. And obviously it did not pan out at OU, but I cannot admit that Spencer Rattler is a shit quarterback. I can't do it.
Wait,
Okay, so here's my thing about Spencer Rattler. Everybody wants to look at what happened last year when he fell apart at the top of that Oklahoma food chain, but a lot of things were happening underneath him, and we still have a year before that of he was great. So
He was phenomenal.
I don't blame him for Oklahoma last year. I think he's going to be fine now that he's got steady ground beneath him. Katie,
I
your
agree.
list.
You guys made your list basically off of what you see. I was about to say with Spencer Rattler, is it more potential or like where you see them right now?
No, it's
I
what
think
he's
it's
already
potential.
done on the field
I think for me, it's potential and
potential.
And yeah.
But he's also proven to be a really good quarterback. And last year was just a fucking dumpster fire. There's a reason that nobody is still.
Wait, I'll talk about it on my list.
I mean,
but y'all
he was-
talking crazy right now. You
he
guys
was-
are talking crazy.
He was
That's
the.
fine.
Spencer Rattler?
Yeah, you guys are talking
You think,
crazy
you
about
think he's
him.
bad or good?
Do your list. I'll
Well,
talk about
it is like I said, it could just be living in the past. He was my Heisman pick going into the season last year.
All right, go
Like,
Katie.
I can't say he's a bad quarterback.
Yeah, spoiler. Spencer Rattler is nowhere near my top 7. That said, also it was when I say it was hard making this. I don't know. Well,
That's
For
confusing.
God's sakes, woman, what is
Yeah,
your list?
I'm reading 1, Bryce Young, number 2, Stetson Bennett. You know what? He just won a national championship.
Mhm.
So
It's fair.
I don't.
It's her list.
I don't.
No, it's her list. It's her list. It's
I
her
also-
list. But I'm just going to let you know this is going to go against my entire principle. I can see your list right now.
Yeah.
go ahead and read number 3. I appreciate it, but I highly disagree with it.
I'm changing right now.
No.
What's it on our list?
Haynes King.
It's Haynes King, and number 4 is Anthony Richardson.
He's not
So-
even gonna
Hey,
start.
so that's so I'm not. You know what?
Hard. I don't like this.
But
I think they're
here's
all- all
you poo-pooed our Spencer Rattler take and said he's nowhere near your top 7, and that's fine. But you can't put a guy who it probably isn't even going to start and hasn't done shit as number 3 if you're poo-pooing Spencer Rattler.
Katie, I can't let you put that list out. They're gonna eat you alive.
Like Spencer Rattler has proven he's a good quarterback. What's Haynes
It's
King?
on our
No,
list.
nobody's-
Let her finish the list.
Okay,
But
all right.
last year was just so inconsistent.
But Haynes King
What's
hasn't done anything.
Who's 5, 6, 7?
Hendon Hooker, Jackson Dart, Will Rogers,
Wait, who was 4?
Anthony Richardson. I think they're
Okay.
all over the place. Besides Bryce Young,
So Will Rogers
is
no.
7.
Oh,
All
he's
right,
7.
wait. Hold on. Say your list 1 through 7 with no interruptions.
Bryce Young, Stetson Bennett, Haynes King, Anthony Richardson, Hendon Hooker, Jackson Dart, Will Rogers. This is let me reiterate when I say this is hard. There's no, besides Bryce Young,
It is
they
her
have
list.
very high ceilings and low floors. They're just inconsistent. I haven't seen really, and I know being critical, I'm going back to the Katie hates everyone. Katie hates everyone, thinks everyone sucks. But there's no one who, like Stetson Bennett is there by default number 2 because he just won a national championship.
I don't
I'm
think
like,
that's a bad.
Hendon Hooker had 31 touchdowns, 3 interceptions last year.
that's why he's number 5.
Can I just out of curiosity why Haynes King is 3?
That's a potential one.
What if he doesn't start?
I don't.
Max Johnson.
I don't
Or Connor Wegman. I feel like, and again, we talked about this in the Pac-12 too with different quarterbacks. Having Haynes King there, which I would love that. I would love any A&M quarterback to be there. But I mean, Spencer Rattler was the Heisman Trophy favorite last year
Spencer Rattler.
after what he did on the field.
I am a recency bias. I know he was great 2 years ago. I've just seen a lot of inconsistency. He is the door is open for him to go back to the 2020. But right now, from what I most recently saw, too inconsistent for me to be like, I looked at that as like who I want.
But Katie, Haynes King didn't show anything.
I'm going again. I hate my list. That's also why I wanted to switch it to Anthony Richardson last minute. But
We should let her switch.
She can switch if she
okay,
wants.
Anthony Richardson 3, Haynes King 4. That one's more of a
No,
control.
if you don't.
Hey, she wants to put Haynes King on it. Let it happen. And listen, I hope it's
Jack.
true. No, Katie, I hope it's true. Will it into existence, please. Or just, and to be fair, Katie stayed very consistent with the A&M quarterback room. She has loved the A&M quarterback room every time we do these lists. It's a fact.
Or at least I've been like, I hope they're good. And
For the
they're-
love
they're-
of God, I have
very
got to
important.
hear Jack's list because, and we've done these a lot.
I have one last thing. You are getting us to drink the Will Roger Kool-Aid way too much. I barely had him on my list on the cusp. I think he's good, but I'm taking
What?
Oh boy.
watch this on YouTube.
He's
Brandon.
on every list though.
He is on every
He is on every all
like
of our
national.
lists,
No, he's on like
Every
every
list.
national list.
but even still, I'm like, he's
I
not.
didn't do anything to anybody. I tell you, put Will Rogers on your list.
You're not, but I'm saying drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm like, I need to take a step back from Will Rogers. I feel like you are very good at
37
your
touchdowns,
shit.
9 interceptions. It's good.
His numbers are fucking wild.
I know they're good,
Okay.
but he's got a team around him. Okay, sorry, Jack.
Jack, save us because Jack has been fuming right now that he hates all 3 of these lists.
No,
frankly.
he definitely does.
Okay.
All right, go Jack.
Go, Jack.
Number 1, my number 1 quarterback, Quinn Ewers. Number 2, Arch Manning.
Wait,
No, it was a joke. Anyways, Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Bryce Young 1. Number 2, Hendon Hooker.
Okay.
Number 3, KJ Jefferson. 4, pull up his stats. I want you to read
fine.
them.
He had 21
sorry,
touchdowns,
stats
4
are-
interceptions. His stats are really good.
What about his rushing stats?
Probably
No,
very
his
good
stats
too.
are. I'm
Yeah,
betting.
I know.
He had
We all
700
know.
yards rushing.
So
My
4,
only-
Will
my only
Rogers.
issue with him. My only issue with him, with KJ Jefferson, is how much I think Treylon Burks meant to that. Continue.
Then number 5, I have Spencer Rattler.
Who was 4?
4 was Will Rogers.
Okay.
Yeah.
6, Will Levis, and then 7, Stetson Bennett. I could switch 6 and 7. Spencer Rattler, you guys act like he was a bad quarterback last year. He was not bad at all. I don't know where you guys came up with this
We all had
theory.
Spencer Rattler high up on our list.
No, but you said like it's
Well,
everyone's
he
like,
got
oh,
benched.
last year.
He got
benched for one of the best quarterbacks
No,
in the country.
listen, there is a reason that I have him high on my list despite getting benched and transferring. I think that like we're way too busy throwing Spencer Rattler away because of what happened last year. Now he was the Heisman
But nothing
favorite.
bad happened last year.
No, but he was the Heisman favorite.
He didn't live up to expectations. Fine.
That I have
But-
him at 4.
Yeah, that's fair.
4 or
But Spencer Rattler, I think Spencer Rattler is going to be really good. I mean, the talent gap may hurt him a little bit, but I think he has a pretty good offense around him. KJ Jefferson's really good. Now, that's a fine argument on Treylon Burks. Haynes King stunk last year, so I don't know how you could even have him in the top 7, but I mean, it is a potential list, so we could see it. Will Rogers is really good.
He is very good.
He would have even had much better stats last year if his wide receivers could have caught the ball against Ole Miss. And then,
Damn, rub it in, Jack.
and then outside
Will
of that,
Levis,
I mean,
you're the
Will
only one who
Levis-
had Will Levis on it.
Yeah, because like I get the hate, but I also understand that I think he's pretty good. And I think
I don't think he's a bad quarterback, and I think he's a perfect like between 8 and 6 on this list. Like I think he's a middle of the pack SEC quarterback.
that's where I put him.
Yeah,
Well-
yeah, no, but I think that. But the problem is we're not arguing against with Jack right now. We're arguing with the others in the world that put Will Levis at like 5th or 6th in the country and put Will Levis at 2 or 3 in the SEC. He hasn't earned that.
I was about to say
Uh,
I saw a list today that had him at 3.
Yeah,
And I just could not figure that
he
one
just
out.
hasn't done that.
That's why doing the top 7 instead of the top 5. Brandon, you brought this up in the group text, which by the way, congratulations for paying more attention to the group text. I very much appreciate that. Is because you get top 5 and it's like you may have like 1 or 2 differences. The 6 through 8, I think is the most like nitpicky one because you can put so many different people there. But yeah, I mean, you have to have Stetson Bennett in the top 5, I think, just because he won a national title.
I don't think you do.
I don't think you do at all.
On SEC Media Day, they were talking about him and comparing his numbers to Bryce Young. And they were like, because they were like, the reason his numbers aren't there fully there in the quantity is because Georgia relied so much on the rushing game. Like when Stetson was there and needed to do the short passes, that was their like explanation.
Well,
Makes
that's fine.
sense.
That's fine. I think that's a perfect offense for him is leaning on a good defense and handing the ball off a lot. That helped him.
I mean, Stetson's fine. He's really good at what he does. He put up a really good QBR last year. He only threw 7 interceptions, 29 touchdowns. But I mean, he didn't throw for 3,000 yards.
I mean, some people think he's a piece of shit for throwing me under the bus and costing me $2,000. That's all.
Yeah.
Some people being Brandon Walker.
So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. All these lists could be incredibly wrong. And the person that's getting the most shit may end up being right. Like last year, our
I'm
top
gonna be
5.
honest. I hope Katie's right. Selfishly.
I really don't know. Like
I hope she's right.
I could
He's
have
not
put
even
this in
gonna
so
play.
many orders.
No, I agree. I tend to agree
You
with
think-
you, Brandon,
What's
but
his face? Johnson's gonna get it
Max
over.
Johnson's going to play. I think he's their starting quarterback this
you
year.
talk to some people who are in the know, they think that
Wegman's
Weggy,
going-
yeah.
Wegman's going
Weggy,
to-
you know.
So
Mhm.
is
call
he,
him
no matter
Weggy
how,
or-
Well, Billy Lucci calls him Weggy, so I feel like if A&M is already saying it, I'm going to say it too. You know what I'm saying?
remember we did all those drafts earlier, and I was like, I just want the Texas A&M
She did say
quarterback
that. Yeah,
room.
she did say
Just because
that.
we don't know.
I would not. I wouldn't. I
Mm.
applaud your decision. I just don't agree with it. But I hope you're
Either
right.
or. Either or. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Katie's still struggling with her list.
Oh no, I hate. At this point, I'm just accepting when yelled at. Georgia found my tier list and had a lot of fun with that. But you know what?
But yelled at
Like-
is interaction, Katie.
Oh, I got 500,000 impressions.
Just on
If-
your own personal.
Mm-hmm.
If your team were to hire the best offensive coordinator or best defensive coordinator in America for next season, which one would you want? You can have one of those 2 options.
I have a caveat
Best
question.
offensive coordinator, best defensive coordinator. What could possibly be the caveat question to that?
Is this like going? This is going off like our personal teams with what we already have, or just like a hypothetical blank? You're building a new team.
Everything's hypothetical here. It's our personal team, but it's also Don't whatever. Your team can
Fair
hire next
question,
year
Katie.
the best OC or the best DC in the country. Which one you choosing?
I'm going to choose offensive coordinator. I would do that for my own personal team or a hypothetical of building a team, just because I am selfish. And I think that if you have the best offense in the country, that you are going to be placed further ahead than if you have the best defense in the country, just right off the bat, because
I'd
people
like
more.
to point out that the defending national champion had the best defense in the country.
I'm
not
talking about
the best-
going into the season. I think offense is more exciting, and I know that's such a cliche. I personally would like to see a 2019 LSU situation than I would a 2021 Georgia situation.
All right, Kate, Jack.
Offense for sure. But I understand the defense, the
Definitely.
argument for defense. However, I think offenses win championships. And if it comes down to it, your offense still needs to perform. We saw last year with Georgia, the defense kept them in the game. Obviously, there was, last season of our last game of the season, and obviously we saw tough injuries and whatnot. However, and a lot of drop passes, A.G. Hall did not step up. The defense kept them in it, and then the offense had to come through.
And
But then the defense did
I
cap it
will
off
say,
with the pick six and whatnot.
if
so.
you look at Ohio State last year, though, to do the flip side, it's like they had one of the best offenses in the country. And if their defense had just been just at least competent, they would have been in the
no, you're
playoff.
100% right. 100% right.
Yeah.
All right. Would you
Also-
rather have for
You
the
didn't
next-
like Katie answer.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say offense because I know that Georgia kind of is an exception, but basically it's much easier to win. If you have an offense, you can do win on a shootout. If you have a defense and your offense is crap, at some point the defense is gonna give.
Would you
Brandon?
rather have 10 what?
You don't ever answer your own questions.
Oh, okay. I mean, offense is sexier than defense. I'd
Mhm.
rather have the offensive guy. I'd rather score 50 points a game and worry about the defense later. That's just
Yep.
me.
Mhm.
Now from an actual technical standpoint of real X's and O's, I think it would be a sound decision to have the best defensive coordinator in the country. Look at Oklahoma State last year. He took a bunch of non-first round picks and turned out an incredible defense. Look at
Mhm.
Wisconsin every year. They're not great every year just because they had the best non-Georgia defense in the country last year. So defense is also whatever.
Do you think Jim Knowles will succeed at Ohio State, turning that secondary
Yes. How
around?
can you not? How can you not? If he
Oh.
succeeds at Oklahoma State, if he puts a top 3 defense on the field at Oklahoma State with a bunch of 3-star and 4-stars, what's he going to do with Ohio State's resources? I think it's going to be pretty impressive.
The only thing is my pushback there is that I'm a big believer in Jim Knowles is we've seen guys succeed with 3 and 4 stars and become head coaches at those massive programs and failed. So it's not a guarantee.
Well, his defense is also a lot of rallying to the ball, 11 guys to the ball, and it's a lot of unselfish defense being played for Oklahoma State last year. And I don't know if you can get 5 stars to always play like that, so we'll see. Would you rather have for the next 10 years 10% of the money that George is going to spend on NIL or 10% of Kirby's contract for the rest of his life?
10% of NIL. money.
NIL.
Yeah.
Wait, no. 10% of Kirby's contract for the rest of his life
Hold on.
because Kirby's going to make.
What's his salary?
I'm looking.
I would say 6 to 7 a year, and it may go up. And if he stays around, which he will, he's already won a natty. You're making 10% for the next
20 years.
20 years. I think and then next year, I bet Georgia will spend 30 to 40 million on NIL.
And I feel like that's
10% of 30.
He's like 7.2 a year, looks like.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at math. I just
Okay.
feel like NIL deals are going to be fucking crazy.
I have an announcement.
Oh no.
You have an NIL athlete?
Bless you.
Ew, not in your hands.
Nobody's here.
Continue.
I'm getting involved with NIL.
You personally?
Oh yeah.
You have
Are-
that much money now?
I'm spending so much money on NIL. I'm getting a good
no.
recruit. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Huh?
Like, how are you getting involved? Like,
You're just giving money?
We'll see soon.
Are you
I'm
gonna
all-
put it in like a McDonald's bag or something? Or are you just gonna hand them straight cash, homie?
Probably McDonald's bag.
Okay.
I'll Jeremy Pruitt my way through this life. Would you rather for the rest of your life eat everything fried at every meal or have a salad for every meal for the rest of your life?
if someone's giving me the salad for free, I don't have to pay for it. Salad.
Salad for every meal.
Yeah, you got to.
It's so expensive.
You have enough fried food and you feel like absolute shit.
I think you got to go fried food.
I mean, yeah, in theory, it's gonna taste way better, but like, you ever just like had too much fried food and like you feel like you can't-
Let's say I last another 10 years eating fried food. You last another 20 eating salad. You really beating me there?
it's
I'm
very
not-
good salad.
I'm not even talking about just like life expectancy. If you have too much fried food, even within like a week, like you don't even like ever wake up fully.
You won't
You just like
also-
you
you'll
like
stop-
slink like you ugh.
You'll stop pooping. Like your body will
Oh.
literally baboon liver and just
All right, you can
Rejected.
choose one of these for your team for the
Brandon
next
is
5 years.
so impressed.
No home games or no TV.
No home games.
Wait, sorry. When you say no TV, like it just won't be streamed.
Katie,
I'm
you're
gonna
gonna.
nickname
You
I'm
are
gonna
literally.
nickname
My
you
brain's
caveat. You are caveat. You're no longer Katie Stats. You're Katie Caveat. Every question is you want to enter. And it's the question is the fucking question.
I didn't process it. Sorry.
It's
okay.
that's a hard one. The reason mine was so quick to answer is because I would 10 out of 10 rather watch games on TV than in person.
Can I ask a question because I'm not in the room?
Oh no.
Is our new producer still in the corner?
She is, yes.
She probably
She's wa-
is horrified.
She's watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But she hasn't quit yet. Congratulations.
I don't feel like we've done anything
No,
quit worthy
no.
yet.
The caveats we're getting.
Well, Brandon's also about to have a heart
Caveat. There's
attack
too
and
many
an
caveats.
aneurysm. What's your answer to that, Brandon?
What question?
Home games or TV?
Well, no. Let me ask a caveat. Are the home games played in your home stadium?
So now you can ask caveats.
Yeah. Home
Yeah.
stadium.
Okay. So let me ask, when you say TV, or do you mean they're televised?
Oh,
on
he's just-
TV?
Yeah. He's
Wait, but okay, the home games are played in somebody's home.
The actual caveat would be like, could
hold
I get
on, hold
free
on, Katie,
tickets
I
and
gotta
actually end
clarify.
up going to all the home games?
When
That's
you say
actually-
home, do you mean they're played at somebody's house?
Yes, in the
high
living room.
school.
Oh, no. The high school, the local high school.
I'm just getting clarification on that. That's all.
It would suck really bad to not have home games, but again, like no TV is because you're not going to every single game. So that would mean you can't watch your team play every week.
Katie, you're allowed to tell me to go fuck myself.
I said what the actual caveat good question would be, but I think it'd be very bad to say no TV because you're just pissing money away.
Fair.
That's logistic. Dumb question or dumb answer, but
All right, there's your show for this Monday. We'll
That's
be back
actually-
Thursday.
I'll give Katie just won the episode with that.
The
If
money.
you piss away the TV money, you're fucked.
also
NIL deals fucked.
No, you have no money. And
During-
what recruits don't want to play on TV?
That's what I'm saying.
during this episode, apparently it seems that Notre Dame is seeking a $75 million contract to stay independent. So,
From NBC.
yeah,
They'll
And-
probably get that.
I don't know what the year span.
What is
That's got to be per year.
Oh my god.
and
has to
what
be.
do each school like at for like the SEC network get? Do we know?
I think with
Every June or July, we usually get a revenue day where we find out
Yeah.
exactly how much they made. And it's usually I won't say it's usually a shit time.
Well,
I think
yeah,
it's like
absolutely.
40 to
but,
50.
so I
30 or
mean,
40 I was going to say 30 to 40 million per
But
school.
I think
You
they're
feel-
going to predict. I think they're going to predict with Oklahoma and Texas coming over the SEC. It's going to get up to that 40 to 50, and that makes sense that Notre Dame is trying to push more for a higher contract because then there's like being in the SEC probably equates to that extra 25,
Yeah.
30,
absolutely.
35 million difference.
Speaking of SEC, and I know this is like not a new thing that's been happening, but whoever's running the graphics at media days
Yes.
they are just every
Having so
single
much fun
year
with it.
is so funny. The Brian Kelly one today was great.
Agreed.
They said
Agreed.
professional elite TikToker and then Southern accent
Expert.
expert. Yes.
You sad you're not there, Brandon?
Could have been.
That I'm not at SEC Media Days.
Yeah, I know you're not sad.
I'd rather I'd rather
That looks like
stick in an ant bed than go to SEC Media
Oh, okay.
I mean,
You know where they are next year, though, right?
Nashville.
We got to go.
well,
The content.
Fucking Mints texted me and said, "Hey man, let's go to SEC Media Days next year." I'm like, I'm not going with you.
Also, it's a little
he ain't
early.
going.
He
I'm
did-
not
he-
going to be there.
I will say he did talk to me about that today, about going
Yeah,
next year.
he said it makes sense being in a sports book state. I'm like, motherfucker, we ain't betting on
Oh,
it.
that's all he. All right, never mind. Now we're getting.
All right, we will be back on Thursday. We'll be back on Thursday with our Big Ten quarterback list and all kind of other pleasantries
And
I'm sure
caveats.
Some fat
Oh, can I-
reporter will say something stupid at SEC Media Days. We'll have that to talk about. Lane
Are you
Kiffin will
jealous
probably
you're
say
not in
something stupid.
Ibiza being flown out right now?
Who is that?
Tico,
You
Texas.
Flued out.
Flued out, not flown out. Flued out.
All right. Again,
She got flown out.
Whoa.
that's unnecessary roughness. Goodbye.